Yeah, this is going to be a long one. On the last episode that we did Currency Wars, we did a very similar challenge to what we are doing today, and this was proposed to me in my suggestions channel in my Discord by one of my viewers, basically to do the same challenge, but in Wealth Creator 30. They wanted to see a max investment team versus Wealth Creator 30, and so we're going to bring back the challenge that we did a couple of months ago now, back when Wealth Creator 20 was the highest difficulty, and try it in Wealth Creator 30. For those who are not familiar, basically, the stipulation is that we cannot build any items, we cannot give our team any external buffs through the different augments you can take, and we cannot give them any other teammates besides the 4 characters that we'll have on board. So we can have 4 characters, nothing more. The one change I am making this time that is different from last time is I am allowing myself to star up these units, because last time we did not even kill the final boss in Wealth Creator 20. We tried it in Wealth Creator 30, it would be a little redundant, so we're going to give them a little bit more of a fighting chance today and allow myself to star them up. It also gives me something else to spend my money on besides levels. There is a lot of gameplay footage. This was over 2 hours of footage, over 20 gigabytes of footage, so I've cut a lot of it out. I'm going to be voicing over all of the gameplay, so we're actually just going to jump in now because I don't want to waste your time. It's already going to be such a long video, so here we go. Alright, we are going right into Wealth Creator 30 for a 4-character challenge. We cannot take any buffs from our augment screen. We are going to have to make do with whatever we are given. Units I want to look out for are Tribbie, Hyacine, Cipher, those are the early ones, but we eventually do want to get to either a mono Remembrance or Elation team, and the buff that I took just there makes it so 2-star versions of characters can appear in the store, which will make it a lot easier to star up our characters and build a proper team around that. We did get Hyacine out to start, so I am just using her right away. Place her in with Huohuo for the bond of healing, and I also have a bond between her and Blade for the health trait, Blood Flame, yeah, that one. All of these items we cannot use, so they're just going to be useless, but we are trying to build Econ here. Going to take a 2-star Blade because it's an upgrade. We'll just be selling him later because he's not sticking around. Spoiler alert. And just quickly get through our reward stages as we try to progress and try to find some units that will actually be beneficial to us, because the difficulty ramps up dramatically in Wealth Creator 30. You will be jumping from a couple million HP to, by the end of this, having to do billions upon billions of HP. It is ridiculous. And here we are taking our first augment. The options here are not fantastic, especially because they're silver, but we did get the option to take one that will give us some free refreshes and some gold. If we get 2 identical characters in the same shop, we will get 1 gold back refunded to us, which will help when we roll down later in looking for units to get 3-starred if possible. We're in our first combat here, and I will say that most of the standard combats I will just be skipping the gameplay for, because if I left it in, it'd be like 2 hours long, and I just do not need to make the video that long. The encounters and the boss stages are the ones that I will actually let play out, and those ones I will also not be talking over. I'll just let the gameplay speak for itself. I don't need to yap for 50 minutes straight, let's not kid ourselves. But just some really standard stuff here, playing just a squad of Hyacine, Huohuo, Cipher, and Blade. The synergy with the 3 units I mentioned before is nice with the bonds, and then also just Cipher being here to clean up and apply debuffs. She's a great early unit and not one that I usually keep around in my final boards, but I do like having her early on because she is just very valuable. Going into our second combat, we do see another Hyacine in shop that we'll pick up because we are going to be looking to get as many copies of her as possible. We're going to try to 3-star her because Hyacine gains a lot of power with 3 stars, especially because she's E6S5. This whole team that I'm going for is E6S5, if that wasn't already obvious. Once again, skip the whole fight. You already probably know what happened. They died. We won. We're going to get some gold for this. Going to keep building up our econ and getting some interest by having 4 now. And once we hit 5, we'll be getting the maximum 5 interest. And from our supply phase, we were able to get a Tribbie, which is one of the best units that we could have possibly gotten. So we will be getting rid of Mr. Blade here and also taking a 2-star Hyacine. So our board has received a massive upgrade. We're putting Tribbie in, and we're going to put her on field so that Hyacine has more targets to heal, to tally up and do more damage with. And this is just the end of the fight that we had with Tribbie. No need to show the whole thing because it was like 3-4 minutes long probably. But Tribbie was a massive upgrade here. As you can see, Hyacine's doing a lot more damage. We didn't even need to use Cypher's ult. Easy win. we're going to keep moving towards our first encounter stage, which is right now. And we do have the ability to put 5 units in now, but we are not going to, and we cannot make any use of that good fortune token. So we're going to take the difficulty 1 here because I am a coward, and we're going to take the 2 gold, but we will make sure to do a difficulty 4 in the future. Hopefully the rewards will be beneficial for us though, and since this is an encounter, I'm just going to let the gameplay play out. Enjoy watching my Hyacine team go to work. Very satisfying Cipher ult at the end. We win our first encounter, but it was only difficulty 1, so it's kind of to be expected. We're going to go onto our word node here, get a bunch of gold, and we find not only another Hyacine, but a Sunday in shop as well. So you're going to be replacing Huohuo here because Sunday is a fantastic buffer. It's going to give Hyacine energy and just give her a ton of crit damage as well. And he's great with Memo Sprites. One of the only Remembrance characters that really makes full use of him, I feel. But there are not a lot of Hyacine DPS players out there, unfortunately. So, he's mainly with Aglaya. But whatever the case, we are going on to our first boss. And we do find another copy of Tribbie here. We're going to sell these excess units, take a random component, because it does not matter what we take. We cannot use items. Level up to 6. And just spend the rest of our golden levels and start our fight against the TV boss. You thought that fight was long. Wait till you see what's to come. But we did get through the first plane without any issues. We're going to plane 2 now. We're going to be looking for Castorice, Evernight, and maybe even Cyrene if we get lucky. Alternatively, if we find Sparxie, Guang, those will be great units as well if we want to go for an elation type of comp. And there is Sparxie, which is a surprise because we were expecting to go for a Remembrance comp this game and looking for Evernight, who did end up appearing. So I decided to stick with the original plan. I get rid of Sparxie, much to my chagrin. I love Sparxie. We put Evernight in, getting rid of that Cipher, and our team gets a lot stronger. Now, Hyacine's still the strongest character on this team right now because she's 2-starred, so we are applying the buffs to her, and Evernight also directly buffs Hyacine as well, so they just work really well together. But we are going to be looking to star up our Evernight as well, and we are on our second augment here, which after looking through each of these, none of them were great, so I ended up going with the one on the far right that gives us 2 refreshes when we synthesize equipment, because that'll be used towards shop rerolls, and it finally gives me something to do with all these items, even if I can't place them on my characters. And in our shop, we found a 2-starred Guang, which I actually end up taking because my Guang is E6S5. I replaced Sunday with her just to see if it'll be a significant damage difference. You know, I was willing to play around with it. And I can say that in this battle that doesn't get shown, it actually was pretty strong. She was doing a decent amount of damage, but she's not a character that I plan to keep around long, nor was Sunday. We just have them in as placeholders until we find the units that we're really looking for, which are Castorice and Cyrene. So we go into our supply phase here, and there's our Castorice. So Guang got to stick around for 1 turn. She left as quickly as she arrived. Sorry, Guang, and sorry, Sunday. It's time for Castorice. Use the opportunity to sell them, fix my board, and we go into just a standard combat here, which is not going to get shown because why waste your time? We have an encounter coming up anyways right after this. So Evernight's going to do her best to finish off this elite mob here. Easy peasy. And the addition of Castorice to the team was a significant upgrade. But we are going into an encounter node, and that is 15 gold. And that is not something I am going to pass up. So we are going to take on the difficulty 4 encounter and see if our team is strong enough. But we are going to first try and use all these free rerolls that we have sitting to see if we can star up our team a bit and get something stronger. I'm buying out the 4 costs that I see in the shop to take them out of the pool and give us higher odds of finding a 2-star Castorice. We do find a 2-star Tribbie along the way as well. We do find 1 Castorice, and I am, just going until I find her. There's our 2-star Castorice, which will help us a lot in this encounter. And since it's an encounter, I'm going to let it speak for itself. Unironically, I think the dino dying actually cost us that win, which sucks a little bit because we were really close. Almost beat a difficulty 4 challenge and we don't even have Cyrene yet, so I was feeling pretty good. And we got our 15 gold still, which was really nice. And this shop was incredible. A 2-star Hyacine, another Evernight, and a Castorice. Absolute magic. I was very happy to see that. Going into our reward node here, nothing special. Free stuff, and a lot of it that I can't use because it's items. We are going against our next boss, the second boss we will face, which is Sam, which is one of the worst matchups for the Mono Remembrance squad, being single target and also needing skill points to be spent. The real way to break him in this mode, the real way to beat him in this mode is to break him. I spoiled it when I was trying to say it. So here is the fight with Mr. Sam himself. And with that, we have beaten Sam. How good does it feel to beat the boss? We don't even have Cyrene. A lot of these units aren't even start up all the way yet. And we are still cruising. But we are on the lookout. We're going to be hitting level 9 soon. And by soon, I mean now. And we have a bunch of free rerolls that we can make in our sidebar here, which I'm going to do. And even though we don't have the gold to spend, I'm still going to reroll here to see if I can find any of the units I'm looking for. And we found a Castorice. So rather than buy her and lose out on 1 gold, I decided just to lock the shop instead and just leave it. You know, gambler in me wanted to roll now instead of waiting a turn. And I don't really regret it because we found a Castorice. And who's to say that we would have found that Castorice if we tried doing that the next round after? You never know. So we're going to pick up our Castorice here. Also going to take a prismatic augment. And this to me was the saddest part of the run because we did not get a single augment that could give us anything to do with rerolls or gold. They were all either items, buffs, or just something that I can't take. Just items and buffs. So it was really unfortunate because I was trying to find something that would be beneficial in getting our units 3-starred, but I got none of that. So I took the one that just gives me components instead, and that's going to give us 2 rerolls. So our prismatic augment gave us 2 rerolls. That is horrible. We don't have a prismatic, which is really unfortunate. I was so depressed like reading through these, and I was so tempted to just take one of the buffs anyways, and like nobody will ever know, but staying true to my word, didn't take the buffs. We're just going to play the challenge as it's meant to be played. Find another Castorice, which is great. And using our free rerolls, we found Cyrene. So we've replaced our Tribbie. We have the full mono Remembrance squad now. This is going to be the team for the rest of the challenge. And now we are going to focus solely on starring them up. I did consider for a bit if I should go to level 10 to increase my odds, but with how much gold it costs and how much time I have left, I just felt like it wasn't really worth it. So I decided to stick with this instead at level 9. And I refreshed my options here and we find a second Cyrene, which is absolutely massive. Hitting a 2-star Cyrene is going to be a significant upgrade to this comp. Here's some more combat. Easy peasy. That would have been like a 5-minute fight. I just saved you those 5 minutes. You're welcome. Because we've got a much longer fight coming up here soon with our next encounter. And I noticed that it was a 3-star difficulty here. I decided to re-roll it and go for the 4-star difficulty. We don't need experience because I'm not going to 10, but I wanted to see if this team could be a 4-star difficulty plane 3 encounter. And here's a bunch of me re-rolling to try and prepare for that encounter. We are looking for 3-star Castorice and 3-star Hyacine. I don't really have many Evernights. We did get her 2-starred finally. Oh, and we do want a 2-star Cyrene as well. But mainly we want a 3-star, our main DPS, which is Castorice, and Hyacine, which we already have a bunch of. So I've been buying out the 5-stars in the shop to try and get that 2-star Cyrene because it's very important as well. And finding other units that we need along the way. Just sending all of our gold at this point because this is going to be the hardest fight that we're going to have. So I debated taking that Evernight for a bit, but there's no way we're going to 3-star her, so I just opted against it. We 2-starred our Cyrene, but unfortunately it's looking like the 3-star Castorice is not going to happen. We did get 3-star Hyacine though, which is nice. And we do find one more Castorice to lock for our next reward phase. But we are going into the encounter with a 2-star Castorice, 3-star Hyacine, and 2-star Cyrene and Evernight. And I will let this fight play out. I'm just going to warn in advance that this is a very, very long fight. Well, not as long as it would have been if we didn't get killed a bunch, but that's what happens when you don't get to take any items in Currency Wars. Your 3-star E6S5 sustainer still isn't enough, unfortunately. So, we are going into the reward phase with a loss under our belt. We were not able to beat the 4-star difficulty encounter. But this is going to be our final chance to get a 3-star Castorice and 3-star of anything else that we're trying to get before going into the final boss, which is Mr. Ugly himself. We did get a prismatic orb, and unfortunately, it's for items. It's to make a radiant item, which we cannot do anything with because we don't have any items. So our prismatic orb was useless. Our prismatic augment was useless, but we do find a 3-star Castorice. And now I go on the hunt for 3-star Evernight. We do find a 2-star Cyrene shop on the way. And then look at this, another 2-star Cyrene shop as well. We could have had a 3-star Cyrene potentially, which is also just really annoying. So a lot of things went wrong this run, but I tried to make the most of it still. And good lord, I put like 2 hours into making this run, so I wasn't going to redo it. Enjoy the final fight. This is really long as well. Thank you for watching up until this point. And despite my best efforts, we did not beat the final boss. I'm actually pretty proud of how close we came though, considering the disadvantages we had during this run. But we still cleared. Challenge completed, A ranking. We take those. Honestly, pretty impressed with this team's performance still, even though we did not kill the final boss. Please excuse my Sparxie getting gifted subs in the background. That was me. I love Sparxie. Did so much damage, but it still wasn't enough. Builds going on screen as I finish up here, because this video's already been long enough, but I hope this was enjoyable. I personally did not enjoy making it. But I still hope that it was entertaining. I hope that you skipped around, because good lord, there's just so much gameplay. So many Castorice ults to just have to sit through and watch, so I apologize if it was a little boring, but I wanted to try the challenge out. I think it went well, all things considered, and could have gone a lot better, so it leaves room to try it again in the future potentially, but not anytime soon. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please take care, and I will see you on Tuesday for my Linnea summons. Goodbye.